So we are in a van and we're going to the top of a hill to ride 17 miles back down into Damascus. The man driving, funny enough, is named Eric because my name's Eric too, and I'm recording you right now.
Nice.
So,
That's okay.
yeah.
Nice, no worries.
How long have you been driving for Sundog?
This is my third year. My dad, he's drove about 4 years. My daughter, she's a fitter during the summer, so we found a job we liked and we've all stuck to it.
And then before I started recording, you said you're also a teacher?
Yeah, I teach elementary PE, K through 6 in Johnson County, Tennessee.
Hey, those who can't do teach, and those who can't teach gym.
That's it. I tell everybody, tell all the teachers, they all had a choice when they went to college. They could have all been a PE teacher or a classroom teacher. I was the only smart enough one to be a classroom or a PE teacher.
Yeah.
I get to wear shorts every day. We play kickball, and I've got it made. And I coach high school baseball and golf, so to say the least, I'm a busy man, but I like it that way.
Have you ridden the trail?
I've ridden the trail several times. I don't ride it as much because when I was growing up, when I was little, I moved here from D.C. when I was 3, and it was still a railroad track. So I spent my time, once the railroad left, I was about 7 or 8, we fished on the river. So I just walked the trail. I didn't even bring a bike. We just parked somewhere and walk up and down the thing finding fishing holes. But in my later life, I have ridden it several times. It's a great ride. It's a beautiful ride. It's all downhill, easy to ride. You're out on your own. Even when there's a lot of people on the trail, you're kind of by yourself. There's about 20 trestles you go across that it's got some good rapids, and it's a beautiful ride. Most people ride once, usually end up riding several times.
Yeah, this is our first trip here, and I am obviously with my family, but I'm already in my mind trying to calculate a way to get back here with a group of friends that I ride with normally, and then we would start down in Abingdon, ride up all the way to the top, and then ride back down.
It's certainly a long ride. We had a guy named Lawrence Dye who rode over 100,000 miles on a trail. If you go to, of course it's closed today, but the White Top train depot, there's a kind of a mural to him. He would ride from Abingdon to Damascus 3 or 4 times a week and did that up until his 70s. The only thing that stopped him was hip replacement. And it's not a hard ride, but it is taxing because from Abingdon to Damascus, it's rather flat. Then, of course, from Damascus to White Top, it's not hard. It's only a 2 to 3% grade because you got to remember a steam engine had to climb it. But it is a great ride. We have a lot of people who will ride the full trail. Sometimes they'll just ride from top to bottom all the way to Abingdon, but we have several a week ride the whole trail, and it's a great exercise, and people love to ride it. We also have a Yeti run. If you ever get in want to just run instead of bike, we have 2 Yeti runs a year. We have a 50-miler and a 100-miler. The 50-miler will be in about a month, and they'll run from White Top to Abingdon back to Damascus. And the 100-miler, they'll run from White Top to Abingdon, back to White Top, back to Abingdon. They have to be done in 27 hours.
So do people stop and sleep on that run, or they just keep going?
They pretty much keep going. They will stop at medical tents. They'll stop to have a snack. But the way they've got it figured, to finish in 27 hours, you pretty much got to keep finishing. You got to keep moving.
Yeah.
Because if you rest too long, you'll never make it. And the 50-miler, I think the time limit is 14 hours.
So that's just a really long, crappy day.
That is a long day. When we have people, all over the world. Most of the time I'm a shuttle driver for it, and they'll arrive at 5 a.m. I'll get up before school, and I'll drop them off at 6 a.m., and they'll get done the next day. And and they're coming all over the country. We had a guy from New Zealand this year. He was in my van, and he came over here just to run the Yeti run, and they pay good money to do it.
You don't run the whole thing now.
It all depends on who you are. There's ultra runners who run the whole thing. There's the guy last year in the 50-miler was done in, I want to say less than 7 hours. But most people, you'd be amazed, they don't even look like they've ever run before. And they're just doing it as a bucket list type thing, and they'll walk the majority of it. And they're miserable when they're done. I mean, I'm usually the shuttle driver back to the car, and they're just miserable. But
It's like a zombie.
it is, but it's an accomplishment. They get to, and what's even crazier is the only thing they win. Now the top 3 get like this plaque and this, I don't know, like last year they had a trussel like in a model and had a Yeti winner. Everybody else just gets, for the 50 miler, they get a gold looking medal about this big. It's got a Yeti on it. And for the 100 mile, they get a belt buckle. And that's your only win for doing it.
No T-shirt.
No, I think they give some T-shirts away, but
Wow.
I think that's part of your entrance fee. That's not even for finishing.
If there's
One for a shoe company or apparel company, you do make money.
Yeah, of course. It's a big deal. I mean, the guy who runs it's from Atlanta, and he does them all over. He does this one in Atlanta called the Beer Run, and you have to drink a beer the whole time you're going. It might be only a 10-mile run, but he says it's insane what they do there. But he does them all over the country. But for us, we do that. So we have the Yeti runners come. We have thousands of Appalachian Trail hikers come through. Damascus is a main headquarters for drop supplies for the Appalachian Trail. So right now, people are starting in Atlanta because of the weather. They'll start now. They'll come through our town between May and June, and then keep on going, and they get their supplies. Sundog, we'll have supplies come to us. We'll have them sell them new shoes and give them their supplies. And the second week of May, every year we have Appalachian Trail Days where we celebrate the hikers. We'll have 3,000 hikers ascend on the town from all over the world. You'd be amazed how many come from Germany, South Africa, Australia, everywhere. And they meet here, and we have, the churches will supply doctors to come in, podiatrists to come in, veterinarians. They have free showers, free food. They have lectures on people. We had a blind guy who walked it, and he'll come give a lecture on a Tuesday night. They'll have supplies at the end of town for everybody else. They'll have crafts, food, music, and it's a celebration of them all week. Saturday ends with a big hiker parade where everybody's got water guns, and they squirt the townspeople with water. And we used to do water balloons, then people started getting hurt with water balloons. So they'll have buckets of water that get thrown on, and they'll have at the end of that, they'll have a hiker's talent show, and it's a big deal. So Damascus does its best to foster a lot of outdoor activities. You know what I mean? We try to bring people here for riding a bike, walking the Appalachian Trail. We have a lot of history around here to get people to come. Daniel Boone, we have a Daniel Boone Trail that goes through Damascus that Daniel Boone, he forged back in the day that, people don't realize till they get here. There's a lot of stuff to do. It's just not a town of 700. There's a lot of things to do around there.
How long does it take to hike the whole Appalachian Trail?
It depends on, most times 6 to 8 months. The one guy did it in 3 months, 12 hours, and 44 minutes or something. He pretty much tried to run the whole thing. That's like the world record. But most people have to take 6 to 8 months. That's why they start now. So by the time they get all the way up to Maine, it's not winter time. And we'll see. We're starting to see hikers now. But come May, we'll see a ton of hikers. We'll see a ton of hikers through the 1st of June. And then we don't see very many hikers all after that. And our bike season, we usually start now. We'll get, on pretty days, we'll get a good thing. Then once it hits the Memorial Day, we'll have a big spike. And all through summer, it'll be steady. And then once it gets to the end of August, we'll get the fall. And fall's insane. We'll have 21 vans go up in a day just out of our shop.
And that's because of the foliage?
The foliage. You go down and you'll see as you're going down, there's a lot of tree canopy. So you're going through reds and golds and yellows, and the weather's perfect, and we'll have people come all over during the year. One time we have 2 shops, Adventure Damascus and Sundog. We're actually the same company. We just split it up, so it allows us to do more. And we had 863 drivers come through our shop. And there's 6 shops in Damascus.
So peak, like on a peak Saturday during the peak season, beautiful weather, how many van trips would make up here, all told?
I can make 6, but if you take all the companies, ours will take 20. And all the others don't have as many vans as we got. There'll be probably 40 to 50 vans come up in a day, if not more. I don't know how busy all the other shops are. I know most time when I come up in the fall, there'll be 7 to 14 vans waiting to drop people off every hour.
Oh, at the top end.
Yeah,
there.
so if you're talking from 10 to 2, 14 vans an hour will come up here.
14 vans an hour.
Yeah. During like the second week of October. So it's a big business, you know. It started, you know, back when the railroad went out, it just stayed dormant for most of my childhood. Like I said, I still remember when I was fishing, walking across the railroad ties to get to the fishing holes. And then in the 80s, the government came up with rails to trails, and they took it out, and they repurposed the bed, they repacked it, did all the work. And for then, it's still just, from what I remember as a kid, people would walk it, horseback ride. Some people might, I don't even remember, bike on it. And a little lady in the town started taking, she was from Missouri, and she started taking people up in the back of her car, on a wagon, in a truck, and it caught on. And in 98, us and Blue Blaze Shuttle opened up, and 20 years later we have 7 shops in Damascus, 1 in White Top, 2 in Abingdon, and Martha Washington has an own van. It's a luxury motel in Abingdon that brings people up just for the trail.
That's awesome.
And for a town of 775, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, the townspeople are outnumbered any given weekend.
Any given weekend. I mean, most people in Damascus really support it. They love it because they know, you know, we've got 4 or 5 great eating places in town: the Damascus Diner, 7 Trails, the Old Mill Inn, we've just Mojo's. We've just got several places. We wouldn't have that. We got a full-size grocery store. We've got 2 gas stations. We got a gas station at the thing, a Dollar General. You know, a lot of times that don't happen in a town of 775. You might have 1 gas station, maybe 1 place to eat, but we got high-end places to eat. So most people support it, but on a Saturday, a lot of locals stay out of town.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They don't want to. We don't have a red light, so there's times where the traffic is just a non-stop parade. But for the most part, most people on the trail that live, they support it. Most people in town support it. It's kind of the lifeblood of our town when we've only got 1 factory.
Is this the peak at the top right up there?
That's not even the peak.
That's not
yet.
even
We're
it?
We're
still in what would be considered the Conaruck area. There's 3 levels of the mountain. 4 levels, really. You got Taylor's Valley, which is halfway down. You got Conaruck, Green Cove, White Top. And where I drop you off is still not even the peak. You can still go up another couple hundred feet to get to the peak. We're just dropping you off at the last railroad stop before it gets to North Carolina. So it's, you know, we'll drop you off at 3970, that's the elevation, but you can actually go up a couple hundred more feet to the peak of White Top. Or Mount Rogers is what it's called.
All right, short history of the ride, and we'll catch you on the next video.